So here's the thing, your website needs to work perfectly because 88% of online visitors won't return after a bad user experience. And spoiler alert, most of those bad experiences come from completely avoidable design mistakes. We're talking slow sliders, broken menus, and forms that feel like an exam paper. So today we'll go through the common offenders and how to fix them before they cost you traffic, trust, and ultimately revenue. Now, in all honesty, most design fails don't come from bad intentions. They come from trying to be clever or minimal or cutting edge and ending up with a homepage that feels like a scavenger hunt. So in this video, we're not here to just call out bad designs. We're showing you why it hurts your sites, what better looks like, and the exact tools or vendors that can help you fix this problem. Hey everybody, and welcome back to Website Planet, where we take all the confusing stuff about websites, design, and online tools and break it down in a simple way. So let's jump into what you need to know about the top 10 web design mistakes and how to avoid them like a pro. Mistake number 1 is sliders that try too hard. I'm sure you've seen them, those flashy homepage sliders rotating like they've got something important to say. Only they don't. They're usually just 5 versions of the same generic message, and nobody clicks through them anyway. Most people read the first slide or none of them at all and scroll right past it. And if that slider's on auto rotate, well, now it's just flipping through content that people didn't ask for, slowing down your site and tanking accessibility while it's at it. But a single focused hero section, well, that'll do way more for your website. One strong headline, a short subheader, and a clear call to action. Done. If you've got multiple things to say, then stack them vertically. Use tabs, use cards, just don't use a slideshow like it's 2012. It's a website, not a digital brochure, so say one thing well and then let people scroll. Mistake number 2 is mystery meat navigation. Some websites hide their menus like it's some kind of test. Tiny icons in weird corners, strange animations before anything actually appears. It's like trying to open a safe just to find the About page. Here's the thing, navigation should be obvious, no surprises, no delays. If users can't find your menu in 2 seconds flat, then they're gone. Just stick to the basics. Visible navigation on desktop, a familiar hamburger icon on mobile, and clear labels, not explore the universe, just menu. Clear and predictable beats clever every single time. Oh, and also skip the dynamic reveal animations. Your menu isn't the main event, it's just how people get to the content. So keep it simple, keep it usable, and that's how you win. Mistake number 3 is center-aligned paragraphs. You might think that centering your text makes it look sleek or balanced, but try reading a paragraph where every line starts on a different spot. It's like your eyes are doing squats. It slows people down, it's harder to scan, and on mobile, it's even worse. What felt clean on desktop now becomes a full usability issue. Headlines, sure, you can center those, but they're short and punchy. But when it comes to body text, left align it always. It's the standard for a reason, and it's just easier to read. If your content matters, which hopefully it does, then don't make people chase it line by line. Mistake number 4 is forms that feel like bureaucracy. Filling out a form on some websites feels like you're applying for a mortgage. Separate fields for first and last name, a dozen required questions, a phone number field. When you only ask for an email, it's just complete overkill. The truth is, the more fields you add, the more users are going to drop off. Oh, and while we're at it, can we talk about those little password eye icons? They're fine for toggling visibility, sure. But when they block built-in tools like Apple's password generator, well, now your form is literally getting in the way of users trying to do the right thing. So again, just keep it simple. Combine name fields unless you need the split. Use visible labels, not just placeholder text that disappears as soon as someone starts typing, and ask only what you really need. Tools like 123 Form Builder, Cognito Forms, and Paperform make this really easy, so definitely check those out. They also help you build clean, focused forms with logic-based steps and automate spacing so that your forms feel like a conversation, not paperwork. Because here's the thing, your form isn't just a way to collect info, it's a test of how easy it is to work with you and your brand. Mistake number 5 is the tiny tap targets, especially on mobile. Have you ever tried tapping a button on your phone and hit 3 things at once? Well, that's not just annoying, it's a conversation killer. Small buttons, crowded links, or CTAs jammed into an unreachable top corner make your mobile visitors do finger gymnastics, and guess what? They won't bother, they'll just leave your site. So make sure you make the buttons big enough to tap with your thumb, add breathing room between elements, and position key actions in the thumb zone, the lower half of the screen where users naturally interact. If you're building with tools like Webflow or Wix, you can preview your design across device sizes and actually adjust tap areas visually. This is how you stop mobile users from rage quitting your sites and measurably improve their user experience. Mistake number 6 is scroll hijacking. You're scrolling through a site and suddenly the page just completely takes over. Now it's dragging you sideways or slowly gliding through full page panels like it's running a slideshow that you didn't ask for. That's called scroll hijacking, and it's one of the fastest ways to make users lose control, patience, and interest overall. Here's the thing, scrolling is supposed to feel natural. It's supposed to feel predictable. The second a site decides that it's smarter than the user, the experience is broken. So if your homepage turns into a vertical slider or your scroll triggers wild animations that delay content, you're not impressing anyone, you're just slowing them down. Smooth effects are fine when used sparingly, but hijacking the scroll wheel to choreograph your content, well, it's just not worth it. Most users just want to get to the part that matters, so let them. Mistake number 7 is styling the scroll bar, or worse, hiding it altogether. Some designers just can't help themselves. They see a perfectly functional scroll bar and think, you know what this needs to completely disappear. But here's the thing, users rely on scroll bars to know that there's more content, to gauge page length, and to navigate quickly, especially on desktop. Hide it and they're flying completely blind. And no, customizing it with neon gradients or turning it into a pixel-wide noodle isn't better. All that's gonna do is break consistency across browsers and devices. Unless your site is doing something truly experimental and you really know your audience, just leave the scroll bar alone. Again, keep it clean. Default scroll bar behavior is one of those things that goes unnoticed until it's completely broken, because then it becomes all the users notice. Mistake number 8 is using background videos that do too much. Background videos can look slick for about 5 seconds. Then the loop gets distracting, the page lags, and your message gets buried under stock footage of a drone flying over a forest. If your video doesn't directly support what you're actually offering, then cut it. Most background videos autoplay, which means slower load times, higher bounce rates, and a bad mobile experience. Even worse, they often run behind text, making content really hard to read unless you throw a dark overlay on top, at which point, why even bother with the video in the first place? If you're set on using motion, go for subtle micro interactions or lightweight animations that support the content, not compete with it. A background video shouldn't be the star of the show, it should quietly support the scene or not be there at all. Mistake number 9 is CTAs that blend into the background. If your call to action button looks like every other element on your page, then it's not working as a CTA. And if people can't spot your CTA in under a second, then they're not gonna click it. A good CTA stands out visually and verbally. That means contrast, clarity, and not labeling your button "learn more" when you actually want someone to buy now or book a demo. Use action words, use a color that actually pops, and give it enough space so that it doesn't get swallowed up by the rest of the layout. Templates on platforms like Wix already come with solid CTA placement, so if yours blends into the backgrounds, you probably broke it. Design is all about guiding users, not hoping that they guess what you want them to do. If your CTA doesn't draw the eye, then you're leaving clicks and money on the table. Mistake number 10 is forgetting to design for real people. This one's less about pixels and more about priorities. Too many websites are built to impress other website designers. Fancy animations, clever layouts, typography experiments that look cool on Dribbble but make 0 sense to actual users. Here's the thing, your site isn't a portfolio piece, it's a tool for your customer. It needs to work for real people on real devices with real goals. That means fast load times, clear structures, obvious actions, and legible fonts. And yes, it might mean cutting that slick hover effect that you spent 2 hours on if it adds nothing to the site. The best websites don't try to be clever, they try to be clear. And in the end, clarity always wins. So yeah, bad design isn't just about taste, it slows down your site, confuses users, and quietly kills your conversations. We're not saying you need to be some kind of design expert, you just need to stop making the common mistakes that drive people away from your site. So strip out the noise, keep what works, and for the love of UX, test your site on an actual phone. If you caught yourself doing even a few of these things, don't worry, we've all been there, and the good news is that you now know better. And fixing them doesn't require an entire rebuild, just smarter choices. If you found this video to be helpful, be sure to hit the like button. It tells the algorithm that we're not totally useless here. And if you want more no-nonsense web tips, design fixes, and tool breakdowns, subscribe and stick around for future videos. Got a mistake that we missed? Well, drop that down in the comments. We might feature it in the next video. But as always, thank you so much for joining Website Planet, and we'll see you in the next video.